Hello, this is the tutorial. I'd like to talk quickly how to switch the camera from third person to first person. This will be pretty handy, especially when you have like a game mode third person, but you don't want to switch the game mode to first person. You can just using the third person character and adding additional camera. So here I can show you really quick how I did. So first I add a new camera into the current third person character. Then I just simply copy paste the camera boom. This is kind of like a spring system I can copy, and I will paste into the capsule. Right, so I have another one, and then I make this new camera attach as a children of this new spring arm, which is the boom. I reduced the target length from, I think the original one was pretty long, 400 into 10, so it's a very short distance. And the camera now is gonna control by this spring. So this is a simple system. Then you just make sure this new camera, you change the orientation, the location, move around. Make sure it's not too close to the face. Otherwise, you're gonna see the face. And this works pretty well for me. And then in the event graph, I add a little bit script using several ways to trigger the swap of the camera. I did not using the input mapping because I just want to give you this simple file to other people. I don't have to worry about the reference. So you can trigger this swap using the C on the keyboard. Or if you play with the gamepad, you can use the front trigger, both right or left, to trigger this swap. And the flip-flop will allow you to do two things, right? If you press the first time, you trigger A, press second time, trigger B, okay? So the first time when I press the C key, is basically just to activate the first person camera and deactivate the third person camera, and then set the controller yaw to active, right? I do want to mention the first person camera by default, I deactivate this camera because I don't want this one be active at the beginning, right? So I turned off the active. I did not using the parent socket because I do not want to attach the camera to the bone overhead. The reason is it works okay on the screen, but if you are really in the VR mode, if you attach the first person camera to the bone, you will see a lot of this kind of bouncing. It will make people feel motion sick. So I would rather not to attach to any of the bones. So that's pretty much how I set up this character with the first person camera. You can switch by pressing the C. I did a very similar approach to another character. I just want to show you there are many ways you can do it. In this way, I did not using the spring system. There's no boom, so it just detach directly into this one. So it's a little bit bumpy compared to the first option, but works pretty well as well. Okay, so that's how I just attach the camera directly to as a children of the capsule. So that's how this tool is set up in the third person character. Also, I check this use pawn control rotation. So this one is checked. In the event graph, this is exactly the same as the other one. Okay, so I don't repeat. All right, I think that's it. This is how you set up the third person character. Now we can do a demo. So by default is the third person, right? So now if I press C on the keyboard to switch to the first person, so basically just swap the camera. If I look down, I can still see the shadows, right? So we know this is actually the correct third person. We just switch the camera to the head and press C again, you got back to the third person characters. Okay, yeah, so that's how it works. I think the mic should still works. Yep. So that's good. If I do the same thing for another one, the Leo, right? so this default is a third person, no problem. Okay, yeah, the leg is working. Okay, pretty nice. Press C. Yeah, I can see my body, and also I can, see the shadow. So that's the difference from this version. We do not have a spring system with the girl, which has a spring system. Yeah, they all feel almost the same. But anyway, I think when you look down, you don't really see the body very easily. When you trigger this in VR, they should all works. Okay, so just keep in mind, in VR, you probably do not want to have too many, automatic motion, because that will make people feel sick. That's the reason I did not using any attachment to other bones. All right, I hope this tutorial will be useful for you. Super short, but it basically a very simple logic. You swap cameras, and then depends on which scenario, you can jump between first person to third person.